Alex, how's your butthole health?
Honestly, I hadn't thought about it much until I heard about yours.
Welcome back to Show Me Yours podcast. I'm Jackie Agnew.
I'm Jonny DeVito.
And I'm Tab Wassano.
Goddamn right you are.
Who do we got in studio today, there, gang?
Oh my goodness, we have a wonderful guest this evening. Comedy, fucking hilarity, and a radio bad man. Please put your hands together for Alex Carr in the
Let's
building.
go!
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. Thanks for coming on.
Jock.
Shock, yeah.
Is that the thing? Was that the motivation to get into radio?
No, my sister was doing radio, and she would always call me and ask me questions. I didn't even understand it at all, and I would she would ask me questions about things going on in the world, and I would just tell her answers, and she'd be like, "This is good stuff." and I was like, "What do you mean?" And then you get a salary out of it. I was like a valet at the time, so I was like, "Yeah, I'll try this."
Damn,
yeah.
so you just kind of lucked into it? You kind of got to walk into it?
Yeah, kind of.
Nice. That's sick. That's
I went to school
sweet job.
for it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well.
Were you just going to give him shit for nepotism or something? Another white man just walks into the top.
God, I wish it was that easy.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be nice? So now that you're broadcast nationally, hanging out, how long have you been in the game for?
6 years.
Hell yeah.
Oh, this would be like the 7th year.
Okay.
Seventh year.
Right
Yeah.
on.
I was like 30 when I started, and I'm 37 now.
So there's
So
still
I was
hope?
really
wow.
late in the game to
Hell
get
yeah.
into it.
Right.
Most radio people have done it since they were like 20 because they went right after high school.
Right.
I was too busy trying to be a thug.
Yeah.
I'm with you, man.
You did bring in one slug of an album, which we will get into.
Oh, absolutely.
But the radio thing is good. Your content is hilarious. Like, it is good. And I do it's not just like me hyping my friends. Like, I do generally like the clips stuff that you put out.
Yeah.
They're very good.
Now, I got to speak up about one in particular because you were kind of going at the Bigfoot community recently on your thing. And I think that most people know that first and foremost, this is a Bigfoot podcast.
Yeah.
We're very
we
pro-foot.
do.
I know.
Pro
On this
foot,
side
no,
of the
There
it's
are
good.
2 pro foots.
Yeah,
There are 2
yeah.
feet.
I am a listener. I've watched, and I knew that. I thought about you guys when I did it. I was like, because Ty had already talked to me about coming on.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna go on there, and they're gonna be like, so some smart ass things to say about Bigfoot. Oh, the shock jock won't go after any of the important issues, but the Bigfoot community can get kicked.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
fair
well,
game,
I
I
mean,
guess.
That's just that's basically what it comes down to. Like, I mean, there's idiots aplenty out there. I don't know if you want to talk like chemtrails or flat Earth or something like that, right? There's morons that have shit to say, right?
Yeah.
But I think the Bigfoot community gets lumped in, with maniacs. You know what I mean? With people that might, take,
not right.
stuff with little to no evidence, way too seriously, right? And I disagree with that.
Yeah.
Okay,
You know what I mean? And you know what I mean?
the gentleman who's like these chemtrail people, they're maniacs. Let me tell you about interdimensional Bigfoot.
Well, okay, well,
100%,
he
that's-
subscribes
but
to
that's
a
where they
controversial
split, though.
theory. We do have 2 differing schools of thought here. He does subscribe to the controversial multi-dimensional Bigfoot theory.
Absolutely.
I subscribe to the Bindernagel school of thought, which is evidence-based. And
Personally, I'm a Hollow Earth Bigfoot guy. I like that.
Oh, yeah.
Which
Great.
I mentioned.
That's a good foot. That's good foot.
Yeah.
That's a good foot. Let's get on
That's
the
a
good foot.
Yeah.
You guys only listen to the part that upset you because I said.
Yeah, that's how
in the
you were
break.
supposed to watch the internet.
Yeah.
That's how
I consume my content.
Right.
Just to tell outrage.
This motherfucker.
I said I hope there's a Hollow Earth Bigfoot that pops out, walks around scaring people, and then disappears. And that's truly what I hope to be true. But
Yeah.
what I said was that Bigfoot is, as of right now, just a lot of people with stories about seeing Bigfoot. And if you think about it, it's kind of funny that they get together for conventions. There's no hair. There's no videos. It's just people waiting to tell their story about how they saw Bigfoot.
There's
in a
prints.
world where there's cameras everywhere. There's 3 cameras in this room alone. And we have not caught Bigfoot on there, but sure.
There is some very reliable footage out there that I would love to show you.
Absolutely. We can go
It's
through
reliable.
kind of undeniable. When you see it, you're like, there's no way this could be anything else.
100%. It doesn't capture your imagination, right? It kind of, you can feel it in your heart and your bones, right?
You're like,
you've
this
been
is
true
the foot.
like this whole time, right? Now, like an interdimensional, hollow earth, Bindernagel, like whichever it is, right? Like I feel like you touched on a great point right there, is that the optimism is there that you want to believe.
Oh yeah.
Right. And I think that because that's why like an interdimensional thing is fun too, because like it adds a little bit of whimsy to the world, because like every day my Bigfoot can change, right? If my Bigfoot is wearing like a Santa hat with like laser tits or something on Tuesday, then you know what I mean, then I can kind of like take my fantasy as far as I want to go, right? Doesn't really necessarily need
Can
to be
he
based
morph into other people?
in your imagination. I think that it can be whatever you want it to be, because it's similar to like extraterrestrial phenomenon, I think,
which I am
because
very familiar.
There's a lot of there's a lot of
we all know.
conventions for alien life as well, and a lot of people are getting together, and they don't have DNA samples or pieces of a crash and things like that. All we have is shaky video evidence, and one school seems to be a little bit more regarded because space is so vast, and people can kind of see like the insignificance of human life, and that we're not as special as we think we are, right? There could be so much more out there. Now that we have very limited capabilities to even explore like the ocean and see what could potentially be down there, right? Do you think it's so out of whack that something could potentially be living in the woods?
Well, that's the thing, is that we're so like ignorant to the world around us. Don't you think it's like a bit like ridiculous to assume that there's not something out there? I mean, don't you think that's a little bit I don't know, like human centric
I
do believe that
so.
we know everything? Like, that's the conspiracy theory.
Yeah, and like
we know all of the creatures.
Bigfoot is the conspiracy theory. That's what's crazy.
Exactly. Like, how could you possibly just write that off?
100%, right? There's multiple accounts and tales from all over the world of having different names, whether the Yetis or abominable snowmans,
Right.
you know what I mean? All these different things, right?
Stories,
so similar. Legend stories, you know what I mean, right?
True stories, nonfiction.
100% accounts from credible people.
The federal government just opened up the UFO and alien files to the world. You think they don't have Bigfoot files?
It would crush society as we know it.
I don't like that I've been cornered, frankly. I have been cornered into being anti-Bigfoot. I'm not. I want it to exist, and sure, I would never argue with you. I agree with everything that you're saying. But also, what I'm saying is that as of now, it is just people telling really, really good stories.
Yes.
And I've seen the footage, but doesn't it usually get debunked? Like, okay, there's the one guy who has like he's like through the woods, and the Bigfoot's going like this. You know that one?
Yeah, classic.
Yeah, that one. But then you go on the internet undefeated. And they show all these shadows and this stuff, and they're like, this clip that's all supposed to be one is like happened over different days. You're looking at the melting water. You know how the internet is. They figure it out. They kind of debunk it. The old school one, the old classic,
of course,
right?
With the wristwatch.
Patterson Gimlin film.
You guys know the names. Patterson Gimlin. 1975, Alex.
Shot with a 16 mil with a 35 to 55 millimeter lens.
It's one of the most controversial because
It is there's a whole,
the man in the suit came out to talk later. It is it's great for, I think, kind of sparking to life the conversation and stuff, much like your clip did, you know what I mean? And
it's all part of the same.
At the end of the day, like I just think the more Bigfoot conversation, the better, right?
Exactly.
If we can get it to the forefront. But there are some people out there that are trying to get into this for their own personal gain. Which is a problem for us. Anytime somebody's trying to profit, you know what I mean, off the Bigfoot, in what we consider to be like negative or unethical ways, and that's when we really step out.
Exactly.
Yeah. You guys should find that guy, kick the shit out of him.
One of them is dead.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
and then
They went dead. We made sure of it.
Yeah.
We watched him stop breathing. His chest stopped going up and down.
Patterson has passed away. Gimlin, I believe, is still alive, and he, the guy who, a guy came forward and said that they paid him to like wear this suit. and it was very controversial. And he actually lives down the road from Gimlin, and he put the head of whether it's the Bigfoot suit or just a Bigfoot suit, he put it on like his fence post, so Gimlin has to see it every time he fucking drives by this guy's
that's
house.
a Roman shit
Yeah.
right there. Just
Yeah.
putting his head on a stake.
Yeah, it's kind of wild. Yeah.
That guy in the suit is lucky he didn't come across a hunter just out there.
Also,
Yeah.
what's your bottom dollar for like? Because my friend came to me, he's like, "You want to help me film this video today?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I got nothing else going on." But if he's like, "I'll pay you," I'm like, what do I got to do? And he's like, just put on this suit. And I'm like, I'm so down.
It would be good. Like as
$50?
comics, we kind of help friends for free all the time.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So
And
thanks for coming over right now.
Yeah.
So like I think my dollar would
he's
be
getting
pretty
two.
low.
He's getting 2 show me your stickers, which are to your right.
There you go.
yeah.
Yeah, we pay. Plus, like the bump in followers. You're
Oh,
gonna get
yeah,
from
those
it.
for sure.
Yeah.
Cool bar,
Yeah.
Definitely gonna feel it for sure.
You're gonna have a lot of Bigfoot people commenting horrible things on your profile.
Oh, absolutely. No, and that's not what we want to say either. Too, like I might have, misconstrued it. We haven't talked Bigfoot, and I kind of wanted to come in hot with some good energy, right off the top, right?
Some
I
good
think-
energy.
Yeah, I was doing it. I've been noticing that since we moved to this new studio, the couch is so comfortable, and I can get pretty relaxed after a couple joints the size of Thai rolls them.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean. I might have maybe put that out there. So for any listener that's going to try to come with any negativity to Alex's world, you get that shit out of there.
Yeah.
He's,
yeah.
He's
Please.
a supporter and you know what I mean, and a hopeful.
Also, you also ignored the part. There's a scientist that believes that there's like shorter, intelligent hominids. So that break is actually about Littlefoot.
Right.
That's true.
Right.
Oh my God.
Right.
I should have
And
watched
For some reason,
Yeah.
I'll be honest, for me, a little more plausible.
Sure, little
Interesting.
Okay.
I don't know why.
This is
open.
this is a turn of events. Is Ty going to be the Littlefoot, the spokesman for Littlefoot on
I
our
mean,
podcast?
I don't know.
now?
I feel like there's like, I feel like, maybe some Amazon shit, right?
I feel like I've been
mean-
so focused towards Bigfoot in my life that the possibility or the existence of little feet running
kinda
around
like it.
Hasn't even crossed my mind. Can
Like
you break
little
down
gremlins?
break this down for me?
Colorful
do they
hair?
have a like geographically like an area where they could be living, or
So
did he
the
just say
guy
that it was
believes that it's
plausible?
in Indonesia.
Okay.
That they've existed for hundreds of years. That they could still exist. And that they're like highly intelligent monkeys, much like they think that Bigfoot is. You know, the same sort of deal, except they're smaller.
Interesting.
So I don't know. Monkeys are pretty smart as is. So to me, I'm like, a small Bigfoot is just a monkey.
Yeah, I was gonna say that sounds an awful lot like a
Just
monkey.
a short
Yeah.
tail. You
Yeah.
just cut his tail off.
Walking upright. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
I'm imagining them. What were those dolls with the colorful hair?
Trolls?
Little
Trolls. I'm imagining them as little trolls.
I'm thinking
Oh,
more
around.
they all
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
jewels in their tummies.
Yeah.
Yeah, little belly button jewels.
Yeah.
Trolls were a good time.
Yeah, I had a cousin that would burn the hair off of them and stuff.
Oh,
like that. Yeah,
no.
it was pretty awful. Kind of like a Sid from Toy Story situation.
Oh,
That's
Yeah.
why the Littlefoots, they hear about that. That's why they don't come forward.
Yeah.
See what you
Yeah.
guys do with these trolls.
Yeah.
They don't want to wind up in a drawer in some mom's basement.
Yeah.
I wish my toys were still in my mom's basement. I had an extensive collection of WWF action figures, all from the Attitude Era, and no idea where they are right now. And my Rock had his eyebrow up and everything. It was dope.
I know the toys. I'm familiar.
What was your go-to when you were a kid?
For toys?
Yeah. What were you
Oh,
playing with?
Good question. We had I had a Swamp Thing toy. Do you guys
Hell
remember
yeah.
Swamp
Fuck
Thing?
yeah.
Okay.
Underrated.
Yeah, Swamp Thing. Oh, God. What else? I mean, I was really into video games, but like actual toys. It's hard to remember that.
Are you losing some of that childhood every day? Do you not think about the Batmobile that you used to run down the stairs or the matches
Slinky?
between?
Or is that why you dress so
Yo-yo?
youthful?
Yeah.
I'm still young. I still play with toys, actually.
yeah. Just trying to remember the toys from childhood, not the toys in your bedroom currently. Yeah.
The evolution is always there, right? Because I want to tell you like the toys that like I wanted to play with, but there were so many that like the X-Men toys were so rad, but I was like stuck into like a collection of like different stuff that I had like a Mr. Sinister and a Wolverine, you know what I mean, that could like wrestle against like the Undertaker Mankind tag team situation, right?
Yeah.
But it was like so extensive that now in my 30s that I'll just get like ads for like an X-Men toy that I never had in my youth, and like
You do have a lot of toys still.
Yes.
Like there's a lot of action figures in our living room.
I had a Stretch Armstrong that I used to chew on.
There you go.
Okay.
Did you ever have the dog?
Did I ever have a dog?
No, the dog. There's a Stretch dog that came out. Remember, it was
I do remember the dog.
because like Stretch Armstrong was like a really old toy, and then it came back. That was the whole deal with Stretch Armstrong, right? But then when it came back in like you're talking 90s here, right?
Sure. Yeah.
It was like. It fucking was huge, dude. Like
Yeah,
and then they were like, then it was like Stretch Armstrong lady friend, and like Stretch Armstrong
Lady
dog,
friend.
and like Stretch Armstrong. They had so many little like other things. How long before you cut that thing open though?
Oh,
Yeah.
it
With
got
your
cut
teeth.
open for sure.
Yeah.
I bit
With
it
your
open.
teeth, you
I
did
bit it open.
Yeah.
Definitely bit it open. Yeah, for sure. I don't know how long it took, but I definitely chewed on it and been bit it. Very strange. When you said, like, did you have a dog? I thought you were going to be like, I had a dog and I chewed on that. And, I was like, and instantly when I thought, I was like, oh, God.
I gotta not
Where's
do
this
this
going?
podcast.
I had a Cocker Spaniel. I used to bite it.
I think his teeth got like that.
Yeah,
He used to bite the dog
It was
all
a
the
mutt.
time.
You guys are so hard on Ty on this podcast. Every time I'm like, geez.
He just makes it so easy. That, like,
Yeah.
I don't mean him for to be like the punching bag or whatever. But maybe we're just bad friends or whatever. Because like if there's like just like a default go-to joke, it's just
Right.
like,
I mean, there's usually
sitting
go-to
right there.
topics. Yeah.
why did we miss last week's recording? I'm just.
well, that's a great question. I'm glad you asked.
We don't have to get it. I'll get it.
no,
That was the week before last.
Oh, the week before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alex, how's your butthole health?
Honestly, I hadn't thought about it much until I heard about yours. I think it's good.
You think
Yeah.
it's
I-
solid?
I-
Yeah,
I-
If you
Really?
do, if the answer isn't immediately not good, then it's probably good.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like you know.
Default good.
Yeah, you know
Definitely.
if it's not
Okay.
good.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not hiding anything. I'm an open book here, and basically what happened was I worked through an afternoon and then went to a show that evening and like walked to a bus stop, sit on the bus, and kind of get all the way there. So like I'm feeling
Key
this
point.
this pain kind of like in between my butthole and ball sack, and it starts to like progress like pretty rapidly, so that the next day, like after the show, by the time I got home, it's just like raw, and I'm hosting the show, so you're walking back.
So
up and
much,
forth and
so
stuff.
much at that show. I didn't realize it was that day.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
crazy. I thought it had already been a couple days.
Yeah, that's right. No, I was telling you about
That's
like,
that day. Yeah, because you got there and you're like, I got a thing in my taint.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't know. I think this is hemorrhoid. I gotta fucking,
Oh,
like, oh.
dude, the grundle was on fire.
And then everybody really was, everyone was really good about it because everyone was
Yeah.
like sharing their hemorrhoid stories.
Yeah, everyone. Well, the assumption was that it was a hemorrhoid.
Exactly,
Because,
yes.
you know,
Exactly.
Yes,
Because I mean,
that was-
that's
walked
the-
that road before.
Exactly right. These things happen. You know what I mean? In my older days, butthole injuries are becoming just like less like hilarious or wild stories, and they're just becoming, you know what I mean? Like whatever, sat on a bench or something for for maybe too long at lunch break or something, a little bit too cold, whatever the situation is. I'm getting like growths and things like that haven't happened in my earlier days that are really starting to freak me out, right? So this one was a little bit different, right? Because it wasn't like around the whole preparation H wasn't handling it like it normally would in a situation, like an immediate soothing relief. Wasn't getting that here. So what I kind of noticed in the morning was almost like a fucking tennis ball that was just like hard, like underneath the skin or whatever, right? Like the whole taint. And at that point, like I couldn't walk, so I just thought that I could tough it out. And because we'd have shown White Rock that night, so I'm
At
like,
that point, I couldn't walk, so I thought I could tough it out.
Yeah. Called in sick
I'm just
to
gonna
work.
lay in bed
Yeah.
and put like a hot water bottle right on my butthole. You know what I mean? Like just handle this situation. And it was restful, you know what I mean, for the day as long as I wasn't moving. But as soon as we got up, I had to sit in a car for an hour on the way to the show, do the show, come back, like all that stuff. Like it was hurting so bad that by 5 a.m, I was needed to go to the hospital. Now, fun twist to that 5 a.m. was that's also Jackie's birthday.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, thank you.
So if you want to
Good
talk
one.
about throwing a dick in the spokes of any fun that's going to happen today, I'm begging an ER doctor to cut open my taint and drain this abscess that he's telling me that I have, because that's basically the way he was describing it is that like what's popped out is
Drain my taint.
drain the taint, bro.
Yeah.
I was in there and he was saying just like ball sack in like a medical context, which was hilarious, right? He was just like a young guy that was trying to like level with me and stuff, which I thought was
5 a.m.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
didn't want to touch my butthole at 5 a.m. Like I don't know what's written on my chart, but There's a history of butthole injuries in there.
He's like, oh no.
Here, put on this lead vest.
Oh, dude,
I won't even get an X-ray.
Yeah. Sorry, I just can't be in the same room.
A terabyte of data on
You
your.
go to the next room. There's a big wheel that closes.
Yeah. He's like, all right, now put your legs over your head.
Yeah, no, I'm notorious. My rap sheet's a mile long in this place, right? So
Why is it a scroll?
he didn't want to touch it at all, right? It's 5 a.m, and I get it. I don't know what stage of the shift he's at. I don't know if you want to start your day or end your day with that, but either way, he wasn't having it. So I was laying on my side, and he's just kind of poking like the area in between, right? Which wasn't romantic, but it wasn't not romantic, right? So then
He was a young doctor.
he was right? And he had a good sense of humor about those things. But then he started like poking my shoe and was like describing the texture of the abscess to like the density of like the gum sole on a van.
Of a van.
Yeah,
See, these are the Jeff
that's
Rowley
cool.
ones.
This
Doctor's cool.
Exactly, right? He's off the
This
wall.
guy's cool.
Yeah. Different from your canvas butthole or your genuine leather.
So basically, when he kind of just looked me in the eye, and I asked her like if I could like work, and he just kind of giggled like, I don't know, man, like you're gonna have to deal with this. So I got antibiotics and some anti-inflammatories that are like powerful. Apparently, like if you like crush your bones or something like that, and they'll give you like these things, and then like some T3s or whatever. So I was just hopped up on pills for like a week straight. Oh man, I was drinking on antibiotics there, and I had to bring up a Thymios and Asiopolis.
That's an old wives' tale. You're
Dude,
fine.
and but I just like I couldn't stumble through. Like I could handle all the sets or whatever, but that fucking name just crushed my heart and soul. So I don't know if he watches the pod. Probably not.
I would be
Guaranteed.
shocked. Yeah.
But still, yeah, that kind of broke my heart. So you know what I mean? I'm just like at this age now where I'm dealing with it. So I want to like reach out and like build a community of butthole support.
Right.
You know, so if there's anything that you like, that you're afraid to speak up about, this is a safe space.
Yeah.
Safe space for buttholes.
Yeah. If you're looking for a fun way to spend your birthday.
Yeah, I still haven't made it up to her.
I
She said
remember
it.
I was supposed to come in.
It was going to be a fun day.
And so I messaged Ty because I know you're a big Survivor fan, and I was thinking we could get a cameo for you from Boston Rob. And I was like, how cool would that be? So I start looking on Cameo, and then I messaged Ty. This is how much Ty cares about you. I was like, can you believe $250 for a Boston Rob cameo? Ty was like, you think that I've been friends with Jackie this long and I don't already know that?
I looked for Jeff. I looked for fucking everybody. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Pricey.
I do that too.
So you
I
weren't
wasn't
going to do
that
it.
bad. I was like, oh, maybe I could pull some of the gang and be like,
Like
yeah.
$90, we all chuck 30 or something.
Yeah,
and then have it
I
pop up on your
know.
birthday. I thought it would be cool.
It didn't happen, so don't look like it did. But
See what could have happened?
I know that.
Jeff was like inactive though. Like he's like, but I was
I
like,
see.
I literally had at one point I had notifications on my phone to tell me whether or not Jeff was back online. Cameo. I was damn curious. I was like, oh, we can get Jeff to say the stupidest shit. It'd be so funny.
Do you think
So
in
funny.
between seasons, if he pops up on Cameo or whatever, like talk about like supplemental income, like do you think he just like the demand is too high, he can't even get to it?
In between seasons, he's just like,
Like,
oh,
he
Jeff's
has-
really struggling.
Yeah, like there
Gotta
is
buy a new
no
pair of
in-between
Adidas cross
seasons.
trainers.
Like they film 2 a year. That's Jeff doesn't have a lot of downtime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
250 American though is more than what I would have thought. Boston Rob thinks highly of himself.
I
Oh,
mean,
yeah,
he's
we
worth
think
it.
highly of Boston
you know
Rob.
what? No, but you know
Full-time
what?
player,
you know
one-time
what?
winner.
You know
I mean-
how highly I think of him is that you said 250 in my head. I was like, that's not bad at all.
250's like, you cheap motherfucker.
As soon as you said that, I knew that I was gonna have to spend $250 very soon.
Yeah, Johnny's pissed.
Fuck, man. As soon as it's coming out of your mouth, I'm like, first of all, that's like the most thoughtful thing that you could do. I should have thought about this years ago.
The best part is right before. Right before he goes, yeah, I still haven't made it up.
Yeah.
You're like, oh yeah, Boston Rob.
Here's like exactly how I could have done that. Oh man, I wish we would have talked privately beforehand. But,
I just thought it was so adorable, Ty's response. I was like, oh, that's so nice.
Aw, I
Definitely
appreciate the
it's
thought.
that cameo's terrifying because it's like you get down the ramble because you're like, oh, what other like B, C,
Right.
D listers can I
Everyone's
find
on
on this
there.
thing? It
Yeah.
is wild who's on that
Yeah.
thing. It's
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
everybody.
Mick
Remember when it
Foley
came
thinks
out
so.
and everyone was kind of like, there was kind of this divide of like, it's hacky or it's like, money hungry or whatever like that. And then I think there was just a consensus of no, I'll make my fucking money.
If there was people that wanted to pay me to write that, or to do a message or whatever, that would be awesome.
I would love
I'd like
that,
to send threats to people's enemies. I think that would be like a cool one.
That
or
would be
something.
cool.
If you could, I'd do something different or whatever, but like that would be rad. You know what I mean? Mick Foley does them like all the time apparently.
His are like 300 something.
Oh,
yeah, I can see that.
Wow.
I've looked into it. Yeah.
Oh my! Everybody's better than me. Oh man, I'm just kind of coming to grips with the fact that you know what I mean. I could do a lot of things.
Listen, how's your butthole right now?
Butthole's great.
Things are looking up, baby.
Things are looking up. Or looking down.
Well, if you guys wanted to, actually, I used to shave my butthole, and now I haven't in in a little bit of time, and like it's not that I'm like going away.
Is that
from it.
because we lost the Manscaped sponsor?
Yeah.
Actually.
Pretty much, I said I'm in protest until Manscaped comes back to pay us or whatever. Right?
Did you guys have Manscaped?
We did for a hot minute, but this was well over a year ago now. We had them for a few months, and then they ultimately decided not to continue the relationship.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shout out to all the flashers out there that that kept us on board for a couple months.
My dad had an ongoing subscription, and I said, "Hey, cut that shit. Now.
Oh, yeah.
We're no longer in cahoots."
I don't care what mom says. You get hairy.
Touchy subject. Yeah.
I know. As soon as I said it, I was like,
Yeah.
I hate when you're having a conversation with somebody
okay.
like you have to remember like their material or whatever.
Yeah,
It's
right.
like, fucking, I know more. I know you better than I think I do.
the roast battle bios also cover a lot. You learn so
yeah.
much. As a guy that's new to the scene, and they're like, we want you to judge one, and then I read these bios, and I'm like, oh god.
Yeah. It
The
is like
best
a
is-
lot to go through.
I got
though,
the
yeah.
Yucks last night, and Alex was there, and we were talking about it. Because I was like, dude, Survivor's out. Like, fucking, you get on it. And then he was like, his burn on, like, his roast on you when he was judging was like just him reading the
So
Wikipedia.
funny.
But it was so funny about
so
Boston
funny.
Roast.
Talk about
He just
Amber's
called you an
name.
idiot.
Yeah. What a moron. Oh my god, it was hilarious
Yeah.
because I was laughing so hard and everyone in the crowd was like, what?
I think Aiden filmed that. We should put that clip in this
Yeah.
thing.
So Rob had won them over
Yeah.
using, the jury felt his strategy was too aggressive, despite Amber's more soft approach. And you were like nodding, you're like, right. And then when after I said, you go, we'll talk after. And then when
You're
I was
dead
like,
serious.
after, and you were like, I could tell that you didn't mean what you said, so there's no reason for me to correct you. And I was just like, that's true. It's very true.
You can get some real hot water real fast if you say the wrong thing, Survivor related. Is there anything like is there anything that you hold that dear as Jackie does Survivor in your life?
Not really. I mean,
No, you're not going to drop the gloves for anything if somebody just sounds off about X, Y, and Z?
no, not really. I don't care. I don't care enough about anything. I mean,
That's
if
a good way to
somehow it was about like if you were like in my like some sort of financial negotiation at some point, and then you were like, you should get less, I'd be like, this person needs to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, finances, yeah.
But not for shows.
What if someone stepped on your sneakers, though?
Oh.
I wouldn't be happy about it. I wouldn't be happy. I wouldn't be that mad though. I think I'd be more understanding. I know it's a big thing, but it happens.
Yeah, it does
Yeah.
happen.
You'd have to do it on purpose for me to be really mad.
Yeah, that's
For
what I'm saying.
sure,
If you
yeah.
get a real stomper on your hands.
Oh.
Yeah, have you ever had eye contact? Somebody just like come up and like scuff the shit out of your shoe on purpose? That's some
No.
high school bully shit.
That's-
Actually, listening
yeah.
to Young Jeezy,
Yeah.
Let's Get It, Thug Motivation 101.
Thug Motivation 101,
I
yeah.
think that that would be like a good way to fuck with somebody, and like that definitely happened in high school. Not only that, but like grabbing your hat off your head and like and curving the flat brim. Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Okay, now we are gonna fight.
Yeah.
100% we're
Yeah.
gonna fight.
That's-
But you've both damaged my heart and my hat.
Yeah.
So
That's
it's like I can
unforgivable.
only take so much.
You
Right,
have
before
to
I
throw
damage your
down.
head.
Yeah.
That this guy will let you just take his stuff and ruin it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you gotta
know what?
gotta put your foot
We
down.
will fight.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You show
Yeah.
one moment of weakness in that school in that playground. and
I've
then it's
listened to
over
too
for
much
you.
Young Jeezy in my life to let that happen.
Yeah, let's
Right?
let's get into it. What did you bring in for us today?
Young Jeezy's Thug Motivation 101. Funny to say bring in, but
yeah.
Well, it brings it to
You brought it to our attention.
Yeah.
You did bring it to my attention because I'll be. This is 2004,
Yes,
5, I think.
I am not familiar with the Young Jeezy. I was not very familiar at all.
It's Mr. Jeezy.
And this album slaps.
Oh yes.
It is.
It's
It's great.
fucking really good. And I got real big. I didn't know like the Atlanta thing or anything, but I had really big like ludicrous kind of vibes, and I was like, yeah. Okay. And then Jonny was like, oh yeah, it's definitely Atlanta shit.
Oh,
and I was like, oh yeah, of course this is fucking awesome, man.
This
Yeah.
like started this like new kind of like era of hip hop that I didn't really notice it like at the time or whatever, but looking back, you can start to see like I'm a big subgenres fan, right? Like as far as like categories, especially with hip hop or whatever, there's a lot of like West Coast or like East Coast stuff, and then like underground. I think like those three would be like, you know, my favorite kind of shit. But I grew up listening to like Onyx and MOP and like real tough guy like stomp the shit out of your music, and then this shit fit like perfectly into that. It's so goddamn aggressive, but like beats wise, it has like almost some like lighter side, like West Coast, like a little bit more funky kind of shit or whatever, right? Compared to like the, I don't know, darker boom bap shit from like from New York. I might be getting like too deep into the
It's
water
like
here.
party anthem-y kind of shit, but with like
But shoot,
craziest lyrics.
Stomp the shit out of you kind of music.
Curb
Yeah.
stop it.
New York rap is made for people wearing big boots that are waiting for the bus, and it's like really gray and cold out, and so they're just
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
making this face while they wear their
Yeah.
headphones.
Yeah,
That's my favorite.
love
They're just like,
angry.
yeah, I'm so angry right now.
Yeah, and I'm really fucking cold.
Yeah, it's cold. I got big boots on, but I don't do boot stuff, but I wear big boots. And then there's down south where it's more like this is designed to be played like in a strip club or in your car,
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
loud with big speakers. So it has more of a fun vibe to it.
Totally.
Yeah, unless you're white going through a McDonald's drive-through, then you
What's Jackie found
roll the
himself in
windows
this-
up and
Yeah.
turn it down a little bit.
It's a windows up music, as we
Yeah.
call it. You know,
Yeah.
we're gonna be singing along to it as passionately as we do.
Yeah.
Then, but like there's a banger on here with Akon that, I mean, I'm in high school at this point. I'm 2004 shithead kid breaking in, and like if we heard this album, then we knew that we were gonna break into your car and steal your speakers out of it, because like that's it was like your gauge with like this or like Tupac's Ambitions of a Rider or whatever. Like there's a few songs, you know, that people would play over and over again just with like the most bass as possible or whatever, right? And like this was like I'll always say it for the past like 2 days or whatever, since we've been listening to this album or whatever. I can't stop singing that Akon part. You know what I mean?
Locked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Locked up.
No. If if you could find me, I'm on the block disobeying the law.
It's funny that he says disobeying the
I know,
law.
I know.
What's it?
Pants sagging with my gun in my drawers.
Is that on Don't Get Caught? That
Um,
song's fucking hilarious. He's like, I got my driver's license revoked.
Yeah.
Been there, man.
Yeah. Using the proper
Oh,
terminology.
Absolutely.
Air Force One is on this. That's a
Classic.
fucking great
Classic.
song, man.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. There's some fucking bangers. On this.
Yeah, I was
Dude.
saying it is like what I was saying before. It's like very of its time. Like you listen to it, you're like, oh, this is so like 2005, especially with Akon. Like that was during his like huge rise when he was like the shit. for
The
a
hooks
minute.
with like the synth on the back end,
Yeah.
like it's so good.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the money? You see the cover? You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
that
Oh,
was on
yeah.
there?
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
when Young Jeezy showed up for the photo shoot to do the cover, his whole bit was that he didn't like how fake the rap world was. And he was like down with BMF. I don't know if you know who that is, but they're like the real drug dealing group of gentlemen.
Yeah. 50
And,
Cent is making some.
Yeah, he's
some
making
great
a
content
movie right
about
now.
it, yeah.
And when he got there, they had all this fake money to make the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, well, I don't want to use the fake money. So he got his like drug dealing buddies. That's all real money. All those
Oh
boxes
my
of money. are real.
God.
He was like, we wanted to use real money for it. And I look back, I'm like, you guys are stupid as shit.
Yeah, that's fucking.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
just
super
so
dumb.
unnecessary to drive with that money in your car. You could get pulled over, seized. It's the States. They don't even have to ask.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Also,
They don't even need
you're not
proof.
even allowed to like use real money in like photography or film or some shit like that. There are
Well,
like
I
certain
think
rules.
with this though, like
I
They
don't
don't
know
give
if
a
they
like
fuck.
follow
hip-hop
the
always,
rules
because
there,
like the
yeah.
Clips have a similar story with that. There's a Clips album where they're like they just have like an old stove they're cooking crack over, and there's all this money on the walls or whatever, right? And it's just like, but it's like
Real crack, real.
That's what you're thinking.
Yeah.
It's like you're like these dollar bills are like crumpled. This is like hand to hand. Like this is shit that they haven't even fucking like ironed out yet or whatever. I think there's an ironing board there too or whatever. They're just doing their thing, and it's like now they have this like I think it's like recently or whatever. There's a law that passed. There's rappers that are getting locked up for their lyrics, right? Because like shit is so fucking insane right now, especially with like social media and this and that. Like there's people in songs being like, you know, you could say that you killed somebody, but if you're like, I killed Jimmy on 5th Street, like people are actually going to jail for like those kind of lyrics and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I think that like
you're confessing to a crime.
Yeah.
It's like an old Dave Chappelle skit. It almost feels like how detailed that they get.
The fucking Tupac, the fucking
I did
the
this.
dopest shit I ever wrote.
And if you're looking for me, this is where you can find me.
I think it's fucking insane, but like I don't know, it's like that's like where the stage of it is now or whatever. But like it was cool to see like anytime like the South does something, they do it like so much cooler than anything. Like I think like Houston, have you seen like the car culture that they have there? They call them donks.
Yeah.
They're basically just like
I
fucking
know
like
what donks
old
are.
fucking.
Please.
It's ridiculous, yeah. But they have like an old like Cadillac or like a Cutlass or something that'll have like fucking 40-inch rims sticking like outside of the car and shit. Like it doesn't.
Donks.
Yeah, exactly.
Donks.
Car got some
Love it.
donks on it.
You mentioned the clips. This is the nerdiest moment in hip hop history.
Let's do it.
A friend of mine, we went to a Clips concert when they were at a very low part of their career before
hell
Pusha
yeah.
gets signed to Good Music. So there's 15 people at this show, including me and my friend.
Wow.
And we stood in the front row, and the Clips is like a small place. They're like right here.
Yeah.
To the point where Pusha kept giving me props to like it happened so many times to the part I was like, I don't want to keep doing this. He's like, there's only so many of us and we're trying to keep the energy high.
Yeah.
Totally.
So my friend, who is like a tech guy, he literally is like a tech dude. He wears glasses. He's like Milhouse without his glasses. He's like this. He's got his glasses on and he's doing the old hip hop this one with his hand, and he hooks his own glasses and he throws them on stage.
Oh, no.
Put 'em on.
So then he's like literally like this, and he's like can't see, and the Clips are just doing their thing. Side note: they wore all real jewelry and tons of it, and I was like, "You guys are nuts!" But like, their bodyguard had to like stop them from performing. They kept like rapping, but and like get the glasses. So their bodyguard also is the size of this entire room. He was, like, so the glasses look so tiny in his hand. And he's like, "Here, my friend, and you can put them back on." And
awesome.
we've always considered it to be the nerdiest moment in hip hop history.
That is the sweetest story.
That is
of a
very
hip-hop
sweet.
show.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah, that is the sweetest thing that's ever happened at any rap show.
Yeah, because like, I mean,
that's the time thing like that happens at a punk show. It's just Henry Rollins just stomping on your glasses.
Yeah. Throwing the shards of glass into the crowd.
You don't need to fucking save it.
Yeah.
Well, the Clips rapping about like shooting and killing, but they're like, "Hold on, everyone, we have
poor white boy
situation.
Yeah.
Gentleman here seems to have thrown his glasses. Hold on, Big D, get over here.
Cleaning
Grab this guy's glasses, and we will get back on with the show." As I was saying, I'll put a gun in your mouth.
did you guys hear Push's McDonald's beef diss track that came out?
No.
Dude, there's Push apparently wrote the ba 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 ba.
Oh right, yes.
And got like 0 royalties for it or whatever, right? So
Hate to see it.
apparently like over years or whatever, he's had like a decade long just disdain for McDonald's as a company. And then who was it? It was for like a rival.
I think it was Burger King.
It was
Their
Burger
chicken
King.
sandwich they came out with.
Yeah,
I was gonna say at some point some other person's got to jump on this and be like, "We'll write you."
Yeah,
a
and
much smaller check
he
to
didn't
do.
have to go that hard.
Yeah.
It's the most fire diss track of all time. It's about a fillet of fish. It's
McDonald's.
great.
Yeah.
The fillet of fish isn't safe. The Big Mac isn't safe. Like I think he's fucking up chicken sandwiches in there. Like it. He goes after them. Yeah, like as a staff, record label, and a crew. And it's fucking.
They're bringing back that chicken Big Mac. Just saying.
What do you guys think about a chicken Big Mac?
I think it's bullshit that they were like, hey, McDonald's is finally releasing something that everyone's super excited about. And then it was like a fucking chicken Big Mac. I was like, just one veggie burger.
Yeah, that
one.
is crazy that they don't have like any vegetarian
Still
option.
nothing.
Yeah.
Fucking Jonny went there for breakfast this morning, but he missed breakfast, and so I get really excited about being able to have hash browns in the morning. But he missed breakfast, and they don't do the fucking even with their all day breakfast. They don't do hash browns. Then he just came back with fries.
All day kind of breakfast.
McDonald's fries
bullshit.
at 11 a.m.
If you're eating a McMuffin and fries, you're a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Get the fuck away from me.
You can
Yeah.
always get any burger dressed as a Mac. So if you ever wanted a chicken Big Mac, you could already have one. You can just say, give
What
me
is another piece of bread? Like that's what I don't like. The Big Mac to me is the worst out of the McDonald's sandwich options.
Oh yeah, I'm a quarter pound guy. I had one.
Yeah,
for
100%, right? All day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't need that extra piece of bread. I don't fuck with clubhouses either.
It is weird to have.
I don't like that.
the
I don't like that extra piece of bread. I don't like that extra piece of bread.
Relax, I didn't
Yeah.
invent the Big Mac.
Yeah.
Jesus
You're
Christ.
coming at me.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's up?
Your Bigfoot shit?
Big Mac.
Your Big Mac?
You're putting them away. Like, oh, shit.
Well, like I mean, obviously that there's passion. Like as far as where is the like is it a bread situation? Because you're
It's too
so
much.
fucking,
It's too much bread.
You're so fucking skinny though. You could use an extra piece of bread with every meal. Like I don't.
You guys
Is it
so
does it take away
unnecessary
from the
hard on tie? It's just, the
I
guy's
was
just
wanting
trying to
to
live.
We're encouraging him to up his calorie count.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's disgusting how many calories I have a day.
Like I
Yeah.
mean, that's the thing.
I also work out like 5 times a
Oh,
week.
you got a tight little bod on you. You don't think we haven't seen?
Yeah, you do have a sick bod. That's why I wanted to do the pod.
Yeah. Whoa.
I've worked at a bunch of fast food places, and I think A&W has the best practices out of all of them.
Also
That's
the best
good to say.
burger.
They're the superior fast food option. They're
But they are-
pricey.
they are- yeah,
pricey.
you
do pay
for
but yeah.
The rings, the onion rings are made from scratch in the back. Like a
Oh,
kid
wow.
has to take real onions that come in a bag,
Small
and put them through this
child.
machine.
Wow.
Child, it has to be 12.
Yeah, a small child.
They make the sneakers. Yeah, and it has to do it all, and you got to batter them, do the
Wow.
whole thing. They have good practices. The hardest burger, because I worked at Wendy's, Burger King, and A&W.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And A&W has the most, like the matzo burger, you actually have to put the cheese on the grill and let it grill up.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then put it on the
You
burger.
cover it with the
There's
water?
no other fast food place that gives the cook that much,
Right.
credence to do it.
Right.
Everything else is so like robotic. And then
Yeah.
A&W, they're like, you actually have to watch this cheese. It
Yeah.
melts. And if you ever order a matzo, they never do it. They always
Oh,
just
yeah.
fuck the cheese onto the top of the
Yeah.
burger.
Yeah, I've
and
never
call it a day. I know. I worked
there.
there. I also didn't do it unless I was making it for me.
Oh, fair
Yeah.
enough, fair enough. Well, I mean, if you're slammed in a lunch rush situation, right? I've never worked in fast food, but like I've been in restaurants and stuff. When there's a take-it whiteout situation, I mean, some shortcuts are going to be taken.
Yeah.
Of course.
Right? Let's get serious.
Yeah, Wendy's is interesting. I had this manager, and I would always go in. I was so stoned all the time, and he's like, "How do you still not know how to wrap up a burger?" Because I'm just on a different planet.
When I worked at A&W, they just had a little pouch that I'd put it in.
Yeah.
The
yeah.
mustard is supposed to go on in a W, and I just think like that's stupid.
That's so fucking
That's
stupid.
For the
That's
W
so
for Wendy's.
stupid.
Look your burger up and have a look. It goes
Wow.
on in a W for Wendy's. I remember it.
That is, yeah. That's
Do they
Burger
put ketchup
King.
on the burger? They do.
Burger King, my manager was this guy in like that I kind of hung with. I knew from my neighborhood, and he was had a crazy temper. So much that I actually, even as I say this, I worry that he could see this podcast because he loves to punch people in the face.
Oh, wow.
We would drink at like the field near my house. He would drink a bunch of revs and then just like find an excuse to punch someone in the face.
Yeah.
And it's like Children of the Flies, where like looking back, I'm like, oh, I should have stood up for these other people, but
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
just scared. You don't want to get punched yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
So he would drink revs, and then he would do this thing. He'd be like, "Don't look in my eyes," and then the person would like look down, and then he'd keep talking to them and be like, "You're a bitch," blah blah blah, and then they'd look up and he'd be like, "Don't look in my eyes," and then that would be the reason, and then he
Yeah.
would punch.
Oh
someone.
my
sakes.
god.
So then he happens to be my manager at Burger King,
Fucking
And-
awful.
Right.
It's
and
Yeah.
people would
He's the
complain. They would like make a complaint, and I would see him just standing there trying to not everything in his power. He just wants to punch them so bad. And they'd be like, blah blah blah. This idiot like didn't put the mustard on in a W or whatever. Whatever they're complaining about. And it was really funny to see him try to use. Oh, okay.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Hot
That's
temper.
crazy.
Hot
That is
temper.
fucking awful.
His temper was hotter than the fryers.
Yeah.
And if you're a diehard, you're like, they don't have fryers. They have grills at Burger King. That story's a lie. I guess they do have fryers for the fries.
I was going to
As
say,
it
what do they
works.
do the fries?
Yeah, the fries. Well, they're flame broiled. It's their whole bit with the burgers. For sure. So they go through a broiler.
McDonald's does have the best fries. People, right? Like, pretty good. I had some fries the other night.
I like the A&W fries.
I didn't have fries. Okay, I had some fries the other night at a undisclosed location, and they came out, and I was like, "These are McCain fries."
Oh,
and I was
yeah,
like,
yeah,
and then you guys were there, and you
Yeah.
had them too, and you were like, "These are definitely McCain fries."
Yeah, they're
and then
definitely
we looked at it
McCain.
more, and I
No,
don't even
it
think
was at a
brewery, yeah.
undisclosed.
an undisclosed
brewery.
location.
Yeah.
And great spot. Just the fries were
Oh, we
like,
love this
and I still
undisclosed
fucked them up. They were delicious, but even to the point where like we think this is like they weren't even dropped in oil. Like I think this was a
Yeah, they
oven,
were oven
Yeah.
situation.
an oven situation.
Yeah,
how
which
they were
isn't
cooked.
what you want.
No.
Yeah.
Which is no particularly one. The fingers, which they were on top of them, were very good though. I'll call that.
Yeah, I do like the A&W fries. Like they're a bit. I would like a tad bit more salt, but I think the McDonald's fries are too salty for my taste.
I think that as long as it's not like I don't know if I just had like a bad experience, but Wendy's really put a sour taste in my mouth. I'm like, what is up with the Wendy's salt? Am I tripping out?
I know.
They use,
It's the
like,
first
a
time I
sea-
had
they use a
Wendy's, I
sea
had food
salt,
poisoning.
don't
Now.
they?
I don't know.
Don't they use a different? They use like sea salt. It's like
Oh,
a different.
interesting.
I
They
think.
do use sea salt. I remember
Yeah.
when they had the campaign, they switched over.
Yeah.
Not when I was there. I was
Of
15.
course,
That was
yeah.
my first job ever. So it was a long time ago. But yeah.
Yeah,
sea
that's
salt
like their
fries.
thing. The sea salt fries.
Sea salt
Yeah.
fries at Wendy's.
Yeah.
I haven't had them in forever. Those are good though.
Yeah, I think I remember when we would always, there was a Wendy's, when I was in middle school, we had an open campus. So at lunchtime we could go off campus.
Campus was free to see other people.
Yeah,
I get
the
it.
campus was seeing other people. You know, you could the campus could fool around with whoever they wanted to.
Yeah.
But we could go off campus and get lunch, and there was a Wendy's nearby, and we would always do the fries and the frosty,
The malt, yeah,
combo,
the dip.
yeah,
You dip it in, yeah.
and that's a killer combo with the
It's
sea
salty,
salt
yeah.
fries.
Oh, absolutely.
yeah.
As far as like food goes, I was actually looking on your website. Fucking fantastic website, actually. And you have like kind of like a breakdown of other job histories that you had. You and you and I also we've had a unique experience of being a bellboy at a hotel.
Yeah.
Was that did anything wild happen in your experience? Because mine was pretty.
Did Kevin McAllister ever not
tons
tip
of
you?
things.
Yeah.
All kinds of things. Yeah. Well, it was like a fancy hotel. So there's a lot of celebrities that stayed there.
Oh, shit.
And
Wow.
one time Snoop Dogg's buddies lit it on fire. So Snoop Dogg's staying there, and my friend is doing like the room checks, and they just see smoke like billowing out from under a door, and this guy comes out and he's like, my friend is in there, and there's smoke coming out of the door, or whatever. And he opens the door and he looks in, and then he runs out, he goes to pull the fire alarm, and he pulls it, and nothing happens. So your whole life you've looked at fire alarms.
Yeah.
And we all assume like if I pull that, we're gonna hear some ringing.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
He pulls it. He goes, nothing happens. He's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Runs to the other end, pulls the other one. Nothing happens.
Oh my god.
Then he
That's
runs back,
insane.
goes into the room, realizes. So the guy, as you would assume, he passed out with a blunt in his hand.
Yeah.
As
Yeah.
if Snoop Dogg's buddies are gonna light a hotel on
That's
fire.
how
how
it's
it's
gonna
gonna
happen,
That's how
happen.
it's gonna
Yeah.
be done. So then they leave. Like Snoop Dogg and his buddies. It was so funny. Big old tall Snoop Dogg comes out of the hotel. They sneak into cabs and they just go to the airport and they leave the city right away. Because I don't know, like marijuana is illegal at the time.
Right.
I don't know what they thought. I know for sure that Snoop Dogg doesn't travel by yellow taxi.
Of course.
So
of
they
course,
full
yeah.
on fleet.
Hello,
It's
Black Jack and
really-
Tiger Tab. Where you?
They didn't
I'll
tell
never-
anyone.
Mr. Dog?
No, they just left, and it's like I'll never forget. Like Snoop Dogg, maybe one of the most recognized people in the world.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
You can't
Trying to
call-
like, I'm out of here. Like bow wow. Just makes his way to a cab. They took off, and then
Oh shoot! We
The-
gotta get out of here.
they tried to sue the promotions company. It's almost like Snoop and his buddies knew, like, this is gonna be problem. This is
This is gonna-
unnecessary problems. We
Yeah.
lit the hotel on fire with weed. We don't want to be.
Totally.
We're not gonna stick around until the cops come to
No.
like to
No.
explain it.
We're gonna
100%.
get ahead of this.
Yeah.
We're gonna flee and then
go.
proactively sue.
Snoop also took a picture in front of someone else's Ferrari and posted it on his Instagram. And I thought, wow, if we nobody questions this when
Of
you're
course.
a Snoop Dogg.
Oh,
Yeah.
of
They
course.
just assumed it was his. He just took a picture kneeling down by the tire. As you can
What
imagine.
a weird
Wow.
thing to do.
Yeah,
though.
Snoop.
Oh,
Wow.
you just
Check
poked
this
a bubble
photo
right in
out.
my idea of who Snoop Dogg
Yeah,
is.
that's a
No,
little.
Snoop, he's still a good guy. He's
Oh,
still,
Snoop is.
Yeah.
You
I've
know?
like had this this like vision in my head, this dream, if you will, that like when I was a kid, they Snoop got his own
Oh,
Cadillac, the Snoop DeVille, and it's fucking dope. And I always wanted like a Coupe DeVito, and then we
Yeah.
could like just meet one day at a red light or whatever, and then look over and shit, and then just like appreciate each other's whip, and then probably form the best friendship of all
You'd
time.
have like a Datsun DeVito, though.
That's whack, dude. Probably would. But that was that's always been the dream of big.
I think I found so. There's this town in Panama when I first moved there, it's called Boquete. It's like this like mountain town, and like every fucking car in this town is a Datsun. It's so weird. Like did they all just get
That's
shipped
where they all
here?
went.
Like they all went to this weird ass little Panamanian town. Yeah, it's super weird.
That is weird. They have like in Cuba, they got all the old cars and shit that just get stuck there. It's pretty cool.
I like that stuff. I want
Yeah.
to. I want to get into some manly stuff. Do you ever turn a wrench, or do you ever? Is there any?
I'm not a big tools guy.
No.
No. I don't. No.
You ever like build connects or anything like that?
No. My brother is. So we had connects.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
no, I was just like a bad kid. I was into.
What
doing
was
bad
Connects? Like the
stuff.
pretentious Lego?
It was
Yeah.
Lego for smart kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
That you
I
could
didn't
make,
even
like,
fuck with
Ferris
Lego.
wheels
I was like, I'm definitely not getting on this shit.
Next, yeah.
Yeah.
I
I had
had
no
Lego.
chance.
I probably like just like chewed on them while I broke
Yeah.
something.
You both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were the bad boy. Any how bad are we talking? What kind of trouble were you getting in as a youth?
Oh, this is where the Young Jeezy album kind of comes in.
Right.
100%.
So one of the first albums I ever bought was in Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style,
Hell yeah.
and I was in grade 6, and I literally it indoctrinated me where I was like, wait a second, like I don't give a fuck about a bitch. I didn't even know. I didn't even know what it was. This is
I was just walking to grade 6. Guess who's back in the motherfucking house?
True
Where's that
story.
dick
So-
for you, motherfucking mouth.
I'm in grade 6, and my teacher writes, you write an essay about what you want to be when you're older.
Oh, no.
And I wrote it that I wanted to be a hustler.
I want to be a motherfucking husband.
So,
Oh my
and I
You was
swear
back
to
there with
God,
them
so
French
funny.
braids.
I didn't know what it meant. Like I didn't know what all I knew is that I thought Snoop Dogg was incredibly cool and that he wants to be a hustler, and that hustlers seem to have this great life of money and ladies.
Yeah, I mean,
And
it's not a bad career.
yeah,
goal,
like
yeah.
Snoop Dogg made it seem great.
Yeah.
And the feedback she gave, she was like, if this is your plan, you better also plan to spend a lot of your life behind bars.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Mrs. Hickey, if you're watching,
And that
I never
inspired
ended up
you to
behind
rap.
bars.
You're like,
Yeah.
I'll get these bars out. Don't you worry.
Mrs. Hickey, it's
I'll
Canada.
be behind bars.
Yeah.
So watch me spit these bars,
Yeah.
bitch.
Do like the image of Alex with the Snoop Dogg braids
Yeah.
in the back of the classroom.
Did
Yeah.
you guys ever do any questionable hairstyles that time growing up? I definitely asked my mom I was like, cornrows were the shit. I was like, I want cornrows. And so I don't know, we had to watch like 2 movies and she did it.
Oh, what?
She did it because I had like huge
movies?
fucking curly hair.
Yeah.
And she did it and I was like, I didn't know what the hell was going on. But I was picturing like Allen Iverson like cornrows
Yeah.
like going down, and all it was like 4 giant French braids. And I was like, it took so
it got
long to
so-
do, and I was
oh
like,
my
this
God.
sucks. And I instantly took them out. I was
I
like, this
did
is a horrible idea.
One time I got, because I had like friends that were like, would go to Mexico and come back with the head full of braids. And so I wanted them so badly that my mom booked an appointment with my like hairstylist, and he did a head full of braids with like the beads on the bottom and everything that I just got in downtown Duncan.
Island Town. Still an Island Town.
And I was like, at the time I was figure skating at the time, and so I'd be doing the spins and all these
Just getting whipped in the face with these
I like that
rattling
image.
from all the bees. It's awesome.
Jackie around downtown Duncan, like, what, Guam, Guam?
Do you guys remember the house party movies with Kid and Play?
Of course. Yeah.
I asked for the plays flat top.
Yeah.
And which, as we know, you can't get.
As
And
we
Yeah.
know,
So
yeah.
I asked the barber. I was a kid. I was like, I want the flat top, and I want it to be like
The big, yeah.
right? And I was like so young. And then I brought it up to my dad years later because I was like, remember when I was obsessed with getting the flat top? I was like, what did you say to the barber? And he was like, I told him to just buzz your head and just ignore what you were saying. And then he'd be like, this is a flat top. He's like an Italian man. This is your flat top.
Yeah.
And I'd look at him like, no, it's not. Like, what are you talking about?
I guess we're gonna have to grow this out. We'll try it again.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
That's good.
I had long black hair, and like blue. I dyed a bunch or whatever, like all
Oh.
punk rock and stuff.
Right.
So then when I was hanging out one day, and my brother got this idea, like somebody kind of talked me into like a mohawk or whatever. And at this point, it would have been like huge, so I was stoked on it. That somebody was going to be there to do it, and we kind of had like some coaching from the older kids or whatever. There's like there's a shoelace technique or whatever, so it's not like looking all shitty. And my brother got half of it done, and then my mom came home from work, and we're just on the front porch of my house. And my brother's shaving a mohawk into my head, and I was already like, my mom was already not very impressed with all the decisions that I was making, and then now her fucking son is gonna have like a jet black fucking mohawk, and she just wasn't having it. So there was a fight for the clippers, and then she like punched me in the head with the clippers kind of on, and it was like a jackass situation where like cut the fucking mohawk in half.
That was an on purpose
It
move
was
for
fucking
sure.
It was the dopest shit ever. She threw the clippers on the ground and called me a fucking idiot. Kind of like, anyway, there's a fucking mohawk now, and my hair's never been that long, so like I've never went for it again. And I rocked a baldy after that for a long time. I got a good shaped head for a baldy too.
I did do a lot of the. I did dye my hair a lot when I was in grade 3. I started dyeing it red. And then after that became too much maintenance. I got like the chunky highlights that were in back then, like the 6 like fucking bleach
Love it.
blonde stripes on my
The
head.
S Club 7.
Yeah, and in middle school I got the underneath of my hair dyed it purple. So I do the whole process where they bleached it and then dyed it purple and looked really sick for like a few months, and then the purple washed out, and so then it was just fucking this like gross like yellow orange like bleach color for years.
If you don't take care of it, then
God
'cause I got
damn.
really blonde hair, so when my black hair started to grow out or whatever, you could see like this like skunk trail of white.
Yeah.
on my head.
Pepe Le Pew.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We shouldn't mention him anymore. Okay.
Oh yeah, Pepe Le Pew.
They're canceling him,
Problematic,
fucking rapist.
we had a cat named Pepe Le Pew.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is he into sexual assault?
It was a she.
Oh, so yes.
Yeah. No, she was a good cat. Any final words on Young Jeezy?
This album fucking slaps, man. I'm telling you, it's really good.
Yeah.
At the time that this album came out, like The Wire was popular, and me and my friends all sold like 0.8s of like M49. You know what that is? M49 is like the worst weed that's ever been made.
Yeah.
49 days. And so we were like, yeah, like we're Young Jeezy right now. and like I would be like in this apartment. I had this shitty apartment, and people would come buy grams for like $10, and it was like, I literally was like, yeah, this is it. Like, I had a 27-inch silver chain, and it had a fake gold AK-47 pen.
Oh, dude.
Silver on gold?
Fuck
Gold
it.
on
But it was
silver?
gold on silver.
Yeah, fuck
Gold on silver.
Have
fake
some respect
gold.
for yourself.
Fake gold. And I would wear like football jerseys. And I was like, I'm hard. Like I'm so hard.
Dude.
Just counting out the $10 bills.
Yeah, so little money. And like they're not like, what are you doing? But I'm like watching The Wire and listening to Jeezy and like, like just like this is what you're supposed to be. Like, hey, Miss Hickey, like I'm a hustler now.
Hustler now.
I'm a hustler. Do you
Yeah.
know?
Showed her.
And it's Canada. I'm never going to jail for this. You can get caught 50 times selling M.
100%.
Probably wouldn't even test positive for cannabis.
Yeah.
This is all CBD. This is
Yeah. Oh,
This is hemp.
So yeah, it was like a soundtrack. Rick Ross was popular at the time too.
Fuck
I was
yeah.
more of a Young Jeezy guy.
Yeah.
But, yeah, just selling. And then, and I would just like play online poker a lot. And it
This
kind
is
of
all very 2005. This is
Oh,
like
it's so
Taking me
Yeah.
back, man.
Yeah.
Taking me back is awesome.
so slowly. And this is gonna kind of sad, but like it was actually really depressing because I had made this life for myself that I thought was so cool, and I would like go to the club in my like new Chaps dress shirt that I bought from Winners, And my buddies would be like, you know, oh, it's so dope, man. You don't have to work. You don't ever have to work. You just sit in that apartment all day and like you make money. And I just like, in my head, I'd be like, yeah. And inside, I was like, I've never been sadder than I am right now.
So lonely.
It's very dark. It's a lot of sitting and doing nothing. You can only play Halo for so many hours before you get sad.
That's why every dealer growing up who was dealing grams was the loneliest guy.
Oh, yeah. They all
and you had to go over.
Yeah.
You want to hang out, and you're like, oh my god, like just give me the fucking.
I got somewhere to be. That's why we always be like, no, I got people waiting around the corner. You know, we don't want to like bring too many people to the spot or whatever, right? So you could always get the fuck out of there.
Yeah. And then I just moved away, like left it all, like left the apartment, everything, just to get away from that.
Got out of the game.
I had this crazy premonition because all the older guys that I would get the shitty M49 weed from, they like lived in townhouses not too far away, and like you could see what your life is
yeah. This is 10 years.
What you're going to be if you stay here and continue to do this. And it's not all that bad. It's not all that bad, but it's certainly not like my hopes and dreams of, you know, being a top hustler.
Hell yeah.
Right? And also the industry is like built on lies. So the whole cannabis industry is just you lying about how much you got it for. And then there's just someone else who lies. And then everybody's just trying to get $100 off of the other person. Right. So then it's just a group of friends just lying to each other's faces all the time about how much they paid for something, trying to edge $8 off the next guy.
Yep, that's
a really good way to put it.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
So I didn't care.
That's why the government stepped in. Was like, I need some of that.
Yeah, I'm gonna get in on this.
How can I fuck this up?
Yeah.
It's a great starter business though. When it was illegal and it was easy to make money, like any young person was like, hey, you could buy a small bag of weed and weigh it out, weigh them up into 0.8s, tell people they're grams, you've got profit.
100%. You're smoking for free at that point, right? Like I used to do. I remember like you know, probably listening to something very similar to this and actually buying my first scale and like weighing up the bags and shit like that or whatever, and saying like, say you got like a couple quarters, an eighth, and a couple grams or whatever, but nobody's buying the quarters. So then like essentially, like eventually you're just gonna break down that quarter into other grams and shit. And it was just like I used to love just weighing weed.
It's fun.
It is very fun. Yeah,
you know what
science.
I mean? Like,
it's science. It's funny to watch The Wire, which is like based out of like Baltimore's heroin trade, or listen to Young Jeezy talking about like cocaine dealing in the South that will put you in prison for life, that people will carry guns to shoot each other. And then white guys like us used it as a soundtrack for our completely consequence-free. Like I live this life. You don't know what this life is like. It's like, you could stop at any time and your life would probably be better. You can like, you have the option to go to university. You can do anything. And it's just like, it was either you were slinging crack rock or you had a wicked jump shot. Or literally anything else. Or literally the world is yours. You live in Canada. You could do anything.
You could do anything, Just walking around with a pocket full of toonies.
I got some friends who are listening to this right now, and fucking some of you guys are still doing that shit. So fucking remember that.
Tighten it up.
Get your shit together. I love you.
Don't listen to these haters. Keep at it. Keep hustling. Show Miss Hickey that
silver chain.
27-inch silver chain. 27 inches. Think about how long
that is.
It's
very
big. Like
I tried to find a picture of me wearing it. I was gonna bring it in, like, because I look so different. And
we got.
I can see it in my mind's eye.
Oh yeah.
There's still a little bit there.
No, man, bring back the thug days, and like it's cool because like I don't know what it was, but I think since like doing comedy, there's a lot of like this kind of hip hop or whatever that I'm not listening to as much anymore. Like I'll put it on if I'm at work or something like that, and I just kind of want to hear the jams. But listening as much as I did and like diving in, like really like falling in love with hip hop and all that stuff, and like, you know, what are these guys kind of like talking about? I think the thing is that there's like so much humility from like bombing that like it's really hard for me to like on the way to a show is to listen to something like so overconfident that I'm gonna kick the fucking door down and like do the goddamn thing. I don't know, but it's like it puts me in like this weird headspace or whatever. So I wouldn't go out of my way probably to like revisit this album. So it's dope that you brought it in.
Oh, good.
Yeah. No, that was a lot of fun.
I listened to it on the way to shows because then it doesn't matter. You guys would have to shoot me with a gun and then I'd still live according to hip hop. What's going to happen? You'd have to actually bomb me with a bomb.
Well, in that case, actually, you'd probably get more popular. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
If you had a couple records on ice or whatever for us to put out after your death, then
Yeah.
would you record a stand-up album for like posthumous releases?
That'd be
That's
That'd
fucking
be crazy
rad
to just
idea.
have it in the
Yeah.
vault.
I mean, Norm just kind of
yeah.
Norm, yeah.
Yeah,
Is that,
yeah,
yeah.
just like
so
try to
not
Norm
Norm
already did it.
McDonald, yeah.
Hell yeah, let's call them on and I'll get a couple fucking hours in the tank.
Yeah,
here
we'll
before we kick
bank
the
it.
butt.
Yeah.
Well,
All right,
dude,
gang.
thanks so much for coming over. Do you have anything
Yeah.
No
anything
problem.
to plug to tell the people?
No, you can follow me on Instagram at Alex Carr.
Bang.
It's
Punch
good
There we
shit.
go.
Do it.
That'll be
Yeah,
in the
Or you can
stuff below.
actually no, I won't even say it.
Say it.
Well, I was just gonna plug the radio show, but
Please.
Do it.
no. And then at some point, you guys are gonna say something awful on here, and then I'll be re-recorded.
That's fair. Yeah,
You
okay.
don't want to.
Yeah,
you
you're
don't
right,
want to be
actually. Yeah, yeah.
associated with this
Yeah,
one.
that's fair.
I'll be tied
We
in.
have edited
Yeah.
things like that because people thought that what they said in this room might cost them their job. So if there's any, we'll
never
give you a
know.
24-hour thing if you feel like you said anything that that you'd want remitted.
If I lose my job, I could always just go back to selling.
Exactly.
porn.
You have a fallback. You have a fallback.
I'll go buy a big old silver chain.
Okay, you don't still have it?
No, I
man.
would have sold it. At some point, I realized like, oh, jeans shouldn't be the size of a parachute. And
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I wore giant Echo hoodies and
Yeah.
like
Right.
everything
Yeah.
had to change. at some point.
Yeah.
My older brother's friend was like, "You dress like an idiot."
Yeah.
He was like, "Get yourself some khakis. No girl's gonna give you a hand job in these fucking outfit." And I was like, "The girls that will give hand jobs to this outfit are."
Those, yes, those are the
Primo.
girls you
Yeah.
want.
But no, I don't have anything else to say.
All right.
All right. Thanks
You're
so
the
much for
best.
coming on. This is fun.
Peace.
Peace.